Hey everyone, you're watching Path of Ash, and my name is Ashley. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, today's video is going to be a little bit of a deep dive kind of video, and it's going to be on a specific topic, a little bit similar to my pretty privileged video. So, if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out, and then come back to this one or whatever order that you want to watch it. But we're going to do a deep dive into why are we so obsessed with like being a baddie or being with a baddie or just baddies in general. So we're gonna get right into it. So just to give like a little historical background, we gotta get the facts and what it is, what it means, and everything like that. So I believe that this whole, baddie trend came from Instagram, but then again, I like to go a little bit back to like Tumblr days when it was like Tumblr girls and also like Pinterest girls, where everyone, are looking for inspiration, which is good. It's good to be inspired, but everyone's looking for inspiration. But then with us looking for inspiration, we all turn out to look the same. And like this trend never dies. Like it just continues to get more things added on to it. And I feel like personally, in my opinion, it's getting out of hand. And I think we are a little bit obsessed. So, back to some historical backgrounds. Like I said, being a baddie can mean different things to you. Personally, to me, it just is a trend for me now. It's more of like a look. It's kind of like, it's its own little category, its own little genres. Like it's all about the hair, the makeup, the body type, the clothing. It's its own little thing that it kind of comprises into like that type. It's like a type. Let's put it like that. Let's condense it down to the word type. But that's what it means to me. To other people, it's like, oh, like me being a boss, into independent female makes me a baddie, and other things. So it can mean different to different people. It varies, but to me, now that it's become like a consistent trend, I think it's just personally like a style. You know how we have like grunge and you have skater and golf and that kind of thing, like alternative. I think to me it's become like a style in itself. But whatever it means to you. So to get started to why I feel like we so obsessed. This is just my opinion, y'all. So don't try to make it seem like we're not gonna argue. If you search the word outfit ideas or outfit inspiration, because I do outfit inspiration videos, so I'm just gonna use this as an example. But if you search that, you're gonna see a bunch of various styles, okay? And then if you put in like baddie outfit ideas, you're gonna see a bunch of like different types of females, and but it's everybody's wearing like the same kind of fit, if that makes sense. Like everyone is wearing that same kind of like crop top. If you think about how like Fashion Nova clothes, like baddies wear baddies wear Fashion Nova's clothes, like things like that. So I feel like to me it has become its own type, and we are heavily obsessed with it, especially when it comes down. I'm not going to just like single out the black community because I see it in a lot of different other communities, but just to speak for the black community, I feel like it's very, very heavy within the black community because it even inspires like it inspires different things, but it also eliminate a lot of things. And what I mean about that, it kind of eliminates how we naturally look. Like, to use this as an example, because hair is a big deal, especially when it comes down to textures and representation. When you look at baddie hairstyles, yes, they show like some curly hairstyles, but most of them that I've seen has been like straight hairstyles or things that have to do with wigs or weaves and sew-ins and stuff. And no shade to anybody who, do that, because wigs and like sew-ins and stuff, they are great protective styles. I did wear wigs in 2020, that was like my wig phase where I used wigs like that whole entire year, and my hair has grown a lot with those protective styles, with me taking care of my hair while they were in braids but still wearing the wig. So I do highly recommend that for people who don't really have time like for their natural hair. So I'm not anything against the wigs, but that's besides the point. But that's what I see. So I feel like that being obsessed with this whole wave of like baddies, it is really like erasing what we really do look like. Like we're not really appreciating ourselves naturally as we are. We're just trying to fit this type that's been strong and ongoing for years. Like I've seen so many trends come and go, but we cannot get past this like Instagram baddie look, and I do not know why. And like I'm guilty of it myself because like I said, I use it as like some kind of inspiration, but now I'm starting to grow a little bit more from it. I don't know if it's because like I'm getting older and like my style has changed a lot, but I'm like, why is this still a thing? Like why is this still a a dominant thing inside like our minds that we have to ooh, like I mean, I saw so and so with this HD lace front in that color, and now when I go on YouTube or Instagram, like that's like the trending color, and we're all looking the same. We're all looking the same. And it reminds me of this Twilight episode that I've seen, and it scared me because I was like, it's not really scary. It's more like a like kind of thrilling, but it scared me because it was like everybody looked the same, and it was one girl who looked different, and she looked regular. I'm not saying like regular as like she was ugly or something, but she looked, pretty, like she was regular, but everyone else had this, strong features and look. And everybody was calling her ugly because, she didn't look like them, and she wasn't going to, change her ways to look like them. But in the end, not to spoil it for anybody who wants to like check it out, but like whatever. In the end, she did end up turning to just like them, like, and it doesn't sound scary. Y'all have to like actually check the episode out. I might look it up to give y'all the episode like season and the episode number just to put it in my description. But it did scare me because it was like, that is us. Like we doing that. Like we all trying to be different, but we all looking the same at the same time. We're trying to be different. And I feel like it was good in the beginning, back in probably like 2016 when Instagram was at its peak and we were just all trying to find something to, you know, try. But now I feel like it should die. Like, can we let this term, can we let this style die? Like, can we really like just burn it in the trash can? Because it's really taking away like originality. It's really making us like dislike ourselves. Not saying like anything that you try is like self-hatred, because like I said, when I went to like heat train, which I think I'm not doing it, but I am. I still blow dry my hair. So, and this is not heat damage, y'all. This is from a failed Bantu knot out, or in a silk press as well. I did try to silk press my hair again. It didn't come out the way it did the first time. So then I was just like, Bantu not out. But then I didn't twist my hair tight enough and they were falling out. So it didn't like curl all the way to the end. So I was like, whatever, half up, half down. You know my hair is bad when I'm doing a half up, half down. That means it didn't hit, but I'm gonna make it hit. But what I'm saying is that to get back on topic, I just feel like we need to let that trend die. Like, what is a baddie for real? Like, all of us just looking the same. Even when it comes down to hairstyles, what I see, like it's even becoming like a meme. Like I've seen things where it's like they would edit like cartoons and make them like baddies, so they have that same swoop curly hairstyle bun with edges, and put lashes and long nails on things, and be like, okay, like it's a baddie now. Like it's even becoming a joke. Like, can we just move forward? Like, yeah, it was fun. Let's move past it. I just want people to, I guess, love themselves naturally as they are, instead of doing things because they're trends. Like, I'm a high advocate about that. But to get more deeply into it, because now I've already voiced my opinion. So now let's get into like the psychological breakdown about it. Right. So let's go back a little bit before the term baddie actually existed. So just because like the term didn't exist, it doesn't mean that it was still like a type. We kind of just changed the name over time. So back then, just to give like a little breakdown of what I've seen back then. Back then, like we had before social media, we had like our video vixens and our actresses and singers that kind of fit a certain category. But I feel like it was a little bit more diverse back then, especially when we talk about like like video girls and stuff like that. Yeah, everybody had probably like the body, because like a while ago like thin was in, and then like butts started to come in there, but everyone had like maybe the same body type. But I did see a lot more like representation when it came down to what was attractive and what was not, if that makes a little bit more sense. Like when I look at videos from like, let's say like the 2000s, and they had like the leading girl that was going to be in the videos, there was a lot more representation, especially when it comes down to like skin tones and hair textures and ways of dress and things. Yeah, it was more so of like what was in during that era, but I do think that more things went into play when it came to like what was attractive, what would seem as exotic. I feel like it was still some individuality and more originality with that, with like the video girls and the actresses, rather than it just being a one set type thing, if that makes sense. So like let's use actresses. Everyone was like, oh, like Halle Berry, she's hot and all of that, but then that never kind of erased the fact that people found Gabrielle Union attractive, or Megan Good attractive, or it was like a more wide range things, like, because all of those females look different, like Vanessa Williams, and we had like a lot of different representation. And I am speaking like more of like Black community things, because that's the only community that I can speak for. But like it never, even though like all those females that I listed look different, they were all considered as like attractive. So even though that this kind of gets off topic to what I'm talking about baddies, it kind of does still relate, because I feel like back then like it was more diversity, and right now it's more of everyone just looks the same. So to continue on of what I was saying about like everyone looked it different then, but they were still, it never changed the fact that they were still viewed as attractive. And now that we look the same, it makes it seem that, to me, which I know is true, something happened between that era to this one, and the only thing that has advanced is social media. So I will say that social media has really heavily impacted like what we look like, what we do, how we act. Like I do see that a lot heavy now. So it really is like our main inspiration. And it's not like how it was before, when we can only like watch TV and see what came on TV. Now like we have so much access to a lot of different things that kind of play a factor in what we do and how we present ourselves. So now I can see why this is something that is so heavy, but the only thing that I don't have the answer to is why it won't die. Well, I kind of do have an answer to like why it won't die, because it's like a lot of things are getting added to it daily and consistently. It's still the same look, but we're just adding more onto it. So to get into that, let's go into like back into like makeup, hair, and clothes. Okay, so y'all remember when all we used to do with our hair, when we wanted to put it into a ponytail, we just slicked it back, got the leave-in conditioner or oil moisturizer, pink lotion, whatever. We slick it back, and we would slick, this part of our edges back, and we was good. then the trend of edges popped up, and oh my gosh, y'all, I could make a whole video about edges and how sick of it that I'm seeing when it comes down to these baby hairs, because it's gotten so ridiculous. But let me calm down. But y'all, that is a big thing that I see that we are so like, we are obsessed with edges. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Like, edges is like a big thing. I find myself doing it too. So I'm not, when I say y'all, I be talking about myself. So I'm not gonna even front y'all. I was slicking my baby hairs. One time I remember when like edges started coming back and popping, because I know baby hairs is from back in the day, so I'm not gonna like try to take credit. But when it came back, and I used to always do my edges, I would do them like, you know, a little curly. Then the swoop came through, so I started doing the swoop. Like, I was really on it with the edges. Now I let them breathe, because I've had situations where my edges did break off, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was using like so many different gels and so many different edge controls, because I was so obsessed, to the point that I wasn't like washing it completely out of my hair, and it was getting stuck and it was breaking off. So I learned my lesson. But why are we so obsessed with edges? Like, even when it comes down to the lace fronts, them edges be so long. Like, those are not baby hairs. Those are adult hairs. We even doing edges with hearts and putting stars and shapes with the edges. Can we please let edges just let it go? And then they were doing the tattoo edges. Like, okay, I got like a little bit too passionate about edges, and I got a little bit off topic, but those are little things that goes into like the baddie look, and we start to obsess over those things because like we saw people do that. We've seen like heavy influencers, Instagram models, rapper baby mamas, whatever you want, whatever you look up to, that's you, that's your business. I don't judge. But we see that because we have so much access to social media, that it's like, I tried it, and then like we see somebody try it on YouTube, and we're like, okay, she tried it, let me try it. And then it's like, I tried it, and then everybody on TikTok trying it, and we all looking the same. It's still resulting to us looking the same. We all looking the same, and that just can't, why we not seeing nothing wrong with that? Why we not seeing nothing wrong with the lack of difference? Why we not seeing nothing wrong with that? And then, okay, that's a part of hair. Let's get into makeup style. Lashes is a big thing too. Now, I'm not against lashes. I like a little simple lash. Now, I'm more of a mascara girl. If I do, you know, do my makeup, I do like my lashes to pop. I'm more of a mascara girl because that's just more suitable for me. Now, I can say that I have forgotten that I had mascara on and I rub my eyes, and no. So I say I can see why lashes are a bit better, because, you know, they last longer, depending on how you get them done. If you get the extensions done, you can keep them on for weeks. If you like a strip lash, you know, you can reuse some of those mink lashes, depending on whatever ones. There's a lot of things out there when it comes down to lashes, so I can see where they are a bit better. But y'all be having fans on y'all eyes, trying to really like look, and I don't even know if, and then it gets to the point where y'all feel like y'all ugly if y'all don't have y'all lashes on. And I can say that for myself, like when I did like the whole wig thing back in 2020, uh I did get so obsessed with wigs to the point that, like, with my natural hair, I was not saying that I disliked my natural hair, but it was like I was not trying to have it. I was not trying to deal with it at all. The wig got so convenient. Like, I was just like, what? Take that off, slap this one on, take that one off, slap this one on, and wash my hair, but I'm just going to braid it back up, put this wig on, which was fine. But at the same time, I was losing myself in the mirror. Like, I would look at myself and be like, who is that? Because I had all these different hairstyles. I'm like, I don't even know. And then it made me act different, if that makes sense. I don't know if anyone else experienced this, but when you don't look like how you normally do, you start to act different. Like, if I had a long, straight wig, I would act so, like, bougie, like I would act different. If I had, like, a curly wig, I would, like, use my hair to change my identity. And I was really like, hiding my real self. Now, not everybody else goes through that kind of mental thing. I'm just a very deep person, so like I go through like little changes with myself. So I have to keep it natural for me because I would like develop a whole different, that may be just my problem. Like I may just need help. But I noticed that with myself. So I just speak from experience. So yeah, but the same thing with lashes. Like y'all think y'all ugly when y'all don't have y'all lashes because you know why? You've done it for so long that it's like you can't see yourself without it. And it's really breaking down your image. But we so obsessed with being bad, with being this, with being that, that we're not really taking care of ourselves for real, like mentally. So let's use that. And now we went through hair, we went through makeup style. All right, clothing, y'all. Okay, this one I'm bad at this one, y'all. I'm not gonna even lie. With clothing, I go through so many different phases, so many different style trends. It doesn't make no sense. I'm starting to keep it a little bit simple. With my past job that I had to wear professional clothes, and that really did humble me. So I do thank God for that. I've always been a conservative with my style. I've never really been like too much showing skin or exposing myself for real. Like I said, I'm not judging anybody who, has that kind of style type. That's you, do what you love. It just wasn't for me. Like I've tried it with, being a little bit more risky with my clothing because I felt like after I transitioned out of my teens to my 20s, like I kept feeling like how I dressed was childish. So I kept wanting to be more grown and seductive, and I didn't feel comfortable. But that was just me. So then I started to know that, I am more conservative or whatever. So I started to dress to that type, and I do feel better about myself. But before that, like with the clothing that I see, every place is starting to sell the same clothes. Like because of this baddie trend, like Fashion Nova is dominant in fast fashion. Shein is like probably above Fashion Nova a little bit when it comes down to fast fashion. And some of the quality of the clothes do be trash. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna not gonna try to make that. But like, we're not talking about the clothing quality. We're talking about like the style type, and it's always cropped, tight, legging, spandex material, or ripped and distressed. Now I'm a fan of ripped and distressed. I've been a fan of that. So like, not knocking that at all, not knocking it, but like all of it is the same. Like if I go on Fashion Nova and I typed in like 2-piece sets, because I like their 2-piece sets, and then I go on Shein and put the 2-piece set, I'm gonna see the same set. Now I'm gonna hop on the Shein one because that's probably gonna be a little bit cheaper, but that's a different thing. But you're gonna see the same like clothes in a sense, like, and it's even with like regular department stores. I was starting to notice that. I'd be like, what, they selling this kind of stuff in Macy's, huh? Like I'd be so appalled because it's like, oh well, yeah, this is what's in. So designers are just following these trends of what's in that it's hard to find regular clothes. Like I said, when I was working and I had to when I was working my past job and I had to wear professional clothes, it was so hard to find things. Like I'd be like, okay, I need a blazer, I need me a pantsuit. Okay, I got a blazer, but the skirt with it was like not even covering anything. So I was like, okay, can't get this pantsuit. Or I would find one with decent pants, but it has a cropped blazer. Like everything is starting to be cropped and showing stuff. And it's hard to find some decent clothes out here because why? We are obsessed with being bad. And what baddies do? They show their skin. Baddies don't care. Baddies, we bad. We look good, and that's all that matters. And it's not, but it's starting to change our world. Like it's starting to change everything around us. It's surrounding this type, and I don't know why, y'all. I really don't. So we covered clothes. It's hard to find like conservative clothing out there if you are someone like me who want to cover up or want to just wear something that's regular and chill. You're not really trying to look like you're going to a fashion shoot all the time. And no shade to the people who do that. That is a good confidence booster. I am working on looking good around the house because I am the bonnet, sweatpants, long shirt, old shirt girl. I'm going to wear that big shirt with no bra on around the house. But now that I am always at the house, because now I work from the house, I'm trying to spice my style up so I can feel good about myself and not be lazy. So I do understand that for people who like to always look good and wear fashionable clothing. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I make content for that reason. But it be a lot when you're trying to just find something chill and it's like ripped up in the back and showing off, it's backless, or it got a cut in the front for cleavage, and it's like, I'm not trying to, I want to, what if I'm trying to go to like my niece's like dance recital or something like that? Like, I can't wear this kind of thing. What? I'm trying to go to a 5-year-old birthday party. Why do I got my cleavage showing? Like, it's hard to find regular clothes. So we went through the cycle of, like I said, different trends and like how they have a psychological chokehold on us. Like we can't breathe. They got the Popeyes biscuit on us because we just, that's just what we know. That's the only thing that we see. And like I said, social media is responsible, but we are also responsible too, because we can lay off this kind of stuff and we can break it. Now, if you fit that baddie category and you love it, continue on with it. But if you don't and you feeling like a slave to it, cut that junk off. Be you. Be you. Like I said, I am an advocate of us being the way that God has created us to be, because we need to love ourselves as we are and not love ourselves because of things that we have added to us. It's even getting so bad that I've seen like people that are like 15, girls that are 15, saving money to get a BBL when they turn 18. Why? Why? You don't even know what you're going to look like in 3 years, or you don't even know what your 20s are going to do to you, or you don't even know what motherhood is going to do to you, because that changes your body too. But because we so obsessed with this whole baddie look, and it's really like messing up our brains. It's messing up everything that like is making us feel like we ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. You don't have to. Or like, even when it comes down to like, we've been on the women, not bashing the women. Now we gonna move on to the men. Even when it comes down to guys, when it comes down to like, because I can't speak for a guy because I'm not a guy, but when it comes down to like types, I feel like y'all choking too when it comes down to that whole like baddie kind of thing, because it's like, oh, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be a 10 and this and that. But then like, what, it's a lot of things that you can consider as a 10, but it's not going to be considered as a 10 because it's not fitting this look. And it's just a look. Like, it's just a style. Like, I'm pretty sure like people who are not in this chokehold of being a baddie, that's more, let's say, let's use like people that does the alternative style, that has the more grunge look. I don't think they really have that many. I think their trend with that style is a lot more diverse than, being a baddie. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do with that grunge kind of style. And it doesn't even matter like what your hair looks like. It's not like the same thing. There's a lot of things that you can do with that style to, be considered in that category. It's so many things that you can do with that. And thinking about the other ones like hipsters and skaters, there's a lot of different things too. But when it comes down to this one, it's just the same things over again. And I'm sick of it. But that's just my opinion. I don't want this video to be super, super long, so I am going to cut it off right there. But like I said, I like to end off on a good note. We got to keep it positive. We got to keep it flowing. But I just want people to love themselves the way God created them to be, and to not think that they are less than themselves if they're not following this trend, if they're not following these kind of things, that people won't find them attractive anymore, or just worrying about so much about people finding them attractive, that they don't even love themselves. Like, I still have so many people that I know that does all these things, and they look good. I think they're pretty, or I think they're handsome, but they just want to follow something, and they're doing it just for compliments, and they don't even feel that good about themselves. And I feel like I'm repeating the same thing I did in my pretty privilege video, but it is a big deal because people are going through like depression and a lot of things when it comes down to just them, like within. It's not even like factors in their life, it's just about like appearances. And I just feel like we need to like really calm down and chill when it comes down to appearances and overly focusing on vanity. And I find myself getting into a slump about this as well, especially like when I'm super hard on myself a lot when it comes down to things like this. And the only thing it is that I don't look bad. I just don't look bad, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not a bad, and it's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me not wanting to be a baddie. It doesn't mean that I'm less than a person who is. So I just always like to end a note on a good note that you are beautiful the way that you are. You do not have to fit a certain trend, a certain body type, or a certain whatever just to feel good about you. Love yourself naturally. And that's the first step to always do, is to love yourself naturally. And then from there, it don't matter what you try, as long as you love you the way that you are naturally. But we're going to end this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope, that, some people can relate to it, or if you agree or disagree, you can just comment below. And I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.